Hi everyone and welcome back to another Bork No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to my Extreme Dungeon Pain run. This is a run I don't recommend, but let's go ahead and cover some things really quick. This is going to be a guide by Hopes and Dreams. Thank you for posting this in the Discords over in Princess Connect, and thank you to everyone who, pretty much contributed this in the Bilibili website. So what happens here is if you click one of the sources and you go here to the Bilibili site, this will actually show you a full run on what team comps they specifically used in order to get EX Dungeon run completed in 1 or 3 runs, technically speaking, right? When you see this is going to be the teams that they ran. They'll show everything, so feel free to click these links. I am not going to be showing a smooth run such as these where they use essentially 3 teams or upwards to, a hodgepodge-ish sort of 3 teams, but this was like 4 teams. A lot of this is very doable if you have like the appropriate units. There's even ones with, no Makoto. They just borrow their Makoto, or they borrow 1 Makoto, or they borrow a June over here. So as you can see, there's going to be various different things that you can do. I'm going to be slightly showing off the Miyako cheese in some ways. I messed it up. I'm not even going to lie to y'all, but man, oh man, I was so close to pulling this like actually off. We'll show it to you, but it is not recommended to do it this way. It is purely for, my painful purposes, because I wanted to get I wanted to get like the snow ice thing from this boss, like the stamina statues. So there's going to be plenty of other teams. This is going to be the 1 team cheese run, so all you have to do is essentially keep everyone alive on this team, and it's pretty doable from what I can tell. You're going to have to cheese like the thunder attack at the very end, but there's going to be a video on how to do that. But these are going to be all the different things. Also, thank you to Shory for posting this info. With that all being said, let's go ahead and jump into the video and just talk about how this extreme dungeon goes. Here we are at the EX Pain run that I don't want to do. Chimera is going to be appearing with a little bit of health chunked off, and that's going to be, I ran an Ilya comp earlier. Ilya comp failed and it did 30k or 20k damage. At first I thought it wasn't a big deal, but I was in a world of hurt because I ran that team specifically when I should have run this June comp before it. All right, so you can see here my June comp dies around the 50-second mark, and we deal maybe a third of his health right here. And the next thing I do is I run Yuki. The reason why I'm running Yuki by himself is mostly so that he can take that UB to the face. If I don't run something like this, and I found that out by running this Nozomi comp multiple times, and the most important position throughout the Chimera fight that you will probably notice, and I'm going to tell you, is position 2. All right, Makoto or whoever is in position 2 will take the most heat under Chimera. They aren't going to be a tank usually. Now if they're a tank, it's absolutely fine, but whoever's there, Eriko cannot sit there. A lot of units cannot sit at that position 2 or take a bunch of UBs to the face. Now Makoto is only at 4-star, but you saw it earlier where he did the UBs, right? Chimera specifically, and he took out my June comp within the first 50 seconds. So I thought I was going to lose my comp here at the 50-second mark because he's going to be casting his UBs. We also mitigated the fact that he casted his UBs a little bit later because we granted Yuki, his entrance in order to take some damage from us. All right, so as you can see here, Makoto is going to have the least amount of health, but Yukari is also going to be giving her some health in order to stay alive. But Makoto does go down after this UB. Around the 30-second mark is absolutely fine in order for her to actually go down. If it takes a little bit longer for her to actually go down, that's when I sort of take it a little bit backwards. But for this run specifically, I chunk him for over half of his health, and to me this is probably my best run in the entire EX Dungeon trials that you will see. So he is now in rage. He has little flame particles, as you can see. The only reason why I'm running Hiyori in position 2, Hiyori will actually stay alive. No other unit I could place at the time that was not an attacker of some sort. Yes, I could place a tank. I could place Kuka or whoever in that position and they would stay alive, but I wanted someone who can deal damage, right? Because technically this is my second best attack wise team, because if I tried placing Eriko here and she would just die, Summer Peko here and she would die. So Fiori was the next best thing. Definitely one of my favorite units just because she can keep herself alive with a little bit of HP drain from her gear and everything, and Mimi and Yui and Mitsuki just keep everything synergized. All right, so if one unit falls while you're fighting Chimera, essentially watch the rest of your teammates fall. So that's the most important tip that I have to say in case you want to save your scuffed runs the way I have to save my scuffed runs. We're not dealing terrible damage, and we're roughly at the last quarter when it comes to his health, but it is not over. Like, it just continues to be painful. And you can see here Hiyori and Mimi is going to die, but we're already at like the 17-second mark. So I felt like we dealt like a pretty significant amount of damage. And as you can see here, he's getting ready to charge up his Thunderbolt, and Miyako stays alive. This is where the Miyako cheese comes in, and this is probably my favorite parts moving forward. So I'm running like this comp specifically with Chika and Shinobu. The reason why I'm running Chika and Shinobu is because their summons can mitigate the first 2 slots, right? By the first 2 slots, I mean, you know, the Skull and the Fairy will summon, and whenever he does like certain attacks where it's like an AoE sort of deal, everyone will manage to stay alive. That's like the most important part, because this guy has a lot of AoE, and with Chika and Shinobu there, they can essentially mitigate most of the damage being dealt to them. Now, I could run them individually like on other teams, but the thing is, when I ran Chika or Shinobu on other teams, they would just pop instantly. So my goal was to bring as many teams as I possibly could throw at Chimera without everyone dying within like the first 50 seconds, right? So we managed to stay here within the next 40 seconds. Obviously, it's still painful. We dealt maybe, you know, at best like 50 to 100k damage at best, right? This guy is a very thick dude and he has so much health. So you can see here, we managed to keep everyone alive at like the 20-ish second mark. I was so happy because we have dealt a significant amount of damage. And I thought earlier, because I had no teams left, I had no DPS left, because look at this. This team is literally nothing but Shinobu, all right? Everyone else is practically a healer in some ways. And then Kuka and Miyako managed to stay alive for this specific run. There we go. I was absolutely happy. We are chipping this dude down. That's the thing that I want to advocate for the most. Your EX dungeon run can be saved. He's at 423,000 health right here. I am running Miyako, Eriko, and Summer Pecorine, all right? Is this planned? Absolutely not. Why am I running this? Because they are the only 2 units that will die no matter what I do at the 50-second mark. As soon as that UB happens, even if they are at max health, even if they have like defensive buffs, whatever it is, they're going to die. So it doesn't matter what I do. I know specifically that they will die here. So I let them die, and this is where I'm like, all right, so this is important parts to the fight. I can time Miyako's UB, then everything will be fine. If I cannot time Miyako, then everything is scuffed and I have to redo this whole thing, right? But Miyako was my shining hope, and everything that I did, everything to keep her alive, in order to maximize her timing right here, I had to pray to RNG and make sure that she would stay alive. At the 12-second mark, she usually casts her ghost form. We managed to stay alive right here at the 7-second mark, and it was beautiful. I was like, all right, we managed to survive the Thunderbolt right there. This team, this run, everything is going as planned. My whole idea with this was to keep running Miyako as long as I could in order to, you know, have Miyako cheese. This team right here with the magic comp, I was like, all right, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. Miyako's not going to die. So we ran this comp specifically to maximize magic damage because I have Hatsune, Ayo, and Akari. Note that, you know, Karu, like Carol and Ilya, and all the other units, Kyoka, that I usually would run with a magic comp, they already died. So these are like my leftover magic comps. Lima is like a leftover tank. I ran Pecorine in my earlier run with like pretty much Ilya, and that one died, right? So we're right around at the 40-second mark. We also stay alive past the 50-second mark after the first UB. And one of the things that I want you to pay attention to is that Akari is our sort of pseudo healer in some ways, but Miyako is obviously staying alive. In my head, I'm like, all right, everything's going well. There's nothing really to worry about. We're not gonna die here, right? And we die here. And I was like, oh my God, my run is scuffed. I couldn't pause it in time in order to salvage that run, but we are here at 58,000 health. So I was like, all right, if I fail here, my last set of units in some ways, the rest of the units are not level 100 or whatever, but it's only 58,000 health. We have Kuka here. We have Monica. We have Saren, we have Suzume, we have Maho. I am praying with everything that I have. I'm like, I threw hours worth of time just to get him to this level. We managed to do it. Suzume right here, landing the kill, and I was so happy. Suzume did her thing. Don't doubt the power of our girl Suzume. And oh my gosh, the waifus came through. I was so happy. We completed it. We got the Tideborn Sweet Snow. Everything was good. The first thing that I wanted to do was slam that thing into my guild house and make sure that I was actually collecting stamina on that day. Yeah, that was a real doozy just getting there. I don't recommend running like extreme dungeon in this way. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 25,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.